Guten Tag, meine Freunde. Now I know what you're thinking. I got kings. Well, great choice. But do you have aces? Well, I sure do, because I'm playing Aces of the Luftwaffe on PS4. So what's going on, everybody? My name is Majora, and I will be continuing my review series for spaceship shooter games. This is not a spaceship shooter, it's more of a military plane shooter, but I'm still very much excited to talk about it. If you like shooting 'em up and spaceship shooters, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing more spaceship shooter-like reviews in the near future. So what is Aces of the Luftwaffe? Aces of the Luftwaffe is a shoot-'em-up where you fight Axis planes and Panzers as the British Air Force during the Battle of Britain in World War II. It's not my personal ace in the hole, but I think it has its redeeming qualities, and I'm excited to talk about them today. So what is a Luftwaffe? Was ist ein Luftwaffe, you might ask? A Luftwaffe is the German armed forces tasked with the air defense of Germany, especially during World War II. They were special fighter pilots, more so on the defensive line. An ace is kind of slang for like your personal like best card, you know, like in a deck of cards. If you're playing like Go Fish or something, you want the highest card. I've not played cards in a while, but you know, you want your ace, you want your best card. So when you're playing Aces of the Luftwaffe, you are fighting the best German air defense forces. The game is broken into missions for every chapter. There's 5 chapters, 3 missions per chapter, and then a boss battle. So it gives you about 15 missions and 5 aces that you are to fight. Let's talk about the gameplay. Coming off of Tube Panic, which was more of a smash 'em up, you're smashing the control button to make sure you get your firepower off. This is more of an autopilot or auto-fire kind of game. You don't even have to press anything. Like, I could drink coffee while I'm playing this game. So, while the other one might have been causing arthritis, this one might be your recovery from it. So, I kind of appreciated that with a sore thumb. I think the game plays nicely for what it is. I mean, on the surface, it looks kind of basic. This is made by Handy Games. They were known for making mostly JavaScript games and Android games prior to this. This game came out in 2015. In fact, don't confuse Aces of the Luftwaffe with Aces of the Luftwaffe Squadron, which came out in 2018, and you've probably seen on sale on Steam and the PS4 and the Switch shop, etc., multiple times. I will be talking about that one soon, and I'd like to play it, but right now I'm talking about the first game. It really does feel like the company's first game. I think that there's some interesting concepts. There's actually some decent shooter gameplay. There's a lot going on screen. You'll have a lot of different types of enemy pilots that you're gonna fight. You can get upgrades. You get you can get wingmen on your side. You can get a spread shot. You increase the girth of your shot if you get the power-ups. You can see on the screen what your visible health bar is by all the cracks in the screen. So it's a nice little indicator. You start to recover over time. It's nice to play a shooter where it doesn't feel like I'm just going to get taken down in one shot. Sometimes that feels kind of unfair. You can always restart the mission, which I encourage. Especially because it's going to save you medal points. Now, what do you need medal points for? Actually, for everything. You need medal points to unlock the other 2 fighters in the game. You start off playing as the Freshman. The Freshman is kind of a fast shooter. I made the mistake of investing in his speed stat. That was a waste, but it didn't really matter because he's kind of the most underpowered of the pilots. The other 2 are Tigers and the Beast. Tigers is more of a specialty pilot. He fires in... Like, if you turn, or if you go on, like, the upper part of the screen, he'll pivot and turn towards the middle. Same with if you go towards the bottom of the screen. It actually gives you a nice spread in terms of, like, how you're aiming. He also has more actual firepower coming out of the aircraft than the other 2 pilots. And I found him useful for some of the missions and for some of the bosses. Sometimes, though, I do find him a bit weak, so I like to use the Beast. The Beast is more of a tank. You can really take a lot of hits as the Beast, and his firepower is upgradable, so you can do some serious damage as the Beast. So you do need to acquire medal points, but you do that by taking down aircraft in ships and during missions. And it's got kind of like an RPG system where you need to upgrade the ships in order to get the best use out of them. That's really important for the boss battles. The boss battles are tough. They're multi-phased, so every boss has several segments, like several parts of the aircraft that you might need to take down. They're very unique. They're very interesting. Like you might be fighting a giant Panzer, or you might be fighting like a giant aircraft. You know, so there's some variety. A Zeppelin. You know, I like what they're going for here. You know, it's really the bare minimum. It's the bare basics here, and while I really do like it for the most part and I feel it's competent, I really hate the level up system because you need to acquire medal points for everything. You need to acquire the medal points for unlocking the next chapters. You need to acquire the medal points for unlocking the pilots. You need to acquire medal points for upgrading your pilots, and the boss battles are mostly approximate to your aircraft. However, you really do need to be upgrading them. So what this results in is the player needing to replay missions in order to get more medal points. And there's really no great way to farm medal points. So for instance, on my one ship, I might need about like 1,300 medal points to upgrade my firepower to a level 3 or 4. And the max that I can get in any mission is approximately 300. That means I'm going to have to play the same mission 4 times to upgrade one thing to something that's not even the highest stat. And then for the final boss battle, it almost feels completely cheap. I looked at the trophy stats. Only 1% of players have even beaten all the missions in Chapter 5, which the final boss is in. It's kind of annoying, and I think I'd prefer if I could just invest in those stats if there was a better way to farm medal points. For a $5 game like this, I don't want to be spending a lot of time grinding the same mission over and over again. I know some people have the patience for it, but I, for the purpose of this review, did not. So I did not beat this game. I got to the final boss, and I think I'll just take some time to finish it up. I think this is a good starter game, a good starter console and Steam game for handy games. They were acquired by THQ Nordic, immediately preceding Aces of the Luftwaffe Squadron, so I am very excited to check that one out. What do you think of this game? Would you get it for $5? Let me know in the comments below. And have a great day, everyone. I hope you enjoy some spaceship shooter action.